Hey, aloha everyone. Grateful to be here today. My name is Paul Fletcher, and today is my second live stream, getting back into the groove of things. Aloha and welcome everyone. And not sure exactly when Facebook kicked in, so we'll start as if we were fresh. My name is Paul Fletcher, and I'm a certified master teacher and also a Tao Center leader at Tao Center Portland. And I decided to move into some of these live streams and start becoming more active in the live streams. I did this for multiple years. So if you're new to this or learning about what we have to offer here, then I hope you stick around. So what I do is am a Tao Center leader. I'm also a certified master teacher and master healer. And what does that mean, certified? Well, I'm certified by the Tao Academy in the International Association of Tao. And I have the certifications to be able to lead and teach about all things soul, all things spiritual, all things related to opening the soul journey, getting answers to why are we here, and how to use that wisdom and information to process and change blockages in our life. Um, Almost all of us have problems on multiple levels. Some of them are very small, some of them are quite large, and some of them just seem so overwhelming it's hard to even imagine a potential solution. And the the 12 plus years of dedicated focus and wisdom and becoming a center leader has taught me that there are solutions for everything. Basically, you simply need to know um, the right approaches. And the right approach, of course, is recognizing that your soul has all the answers and your soul has great wisdom and it has the great opportunity to share that wisdom with you. The dilemma being, in general, the ability to access that wisdom. Give me just a second here. That light just doesn't look good in the background, does it? A little too bright and shiny. So welcome Erin, welcome also to Janet, welcome Divjot. Thank you for coming and thank you for clicking on the share button. Great to have you here today. And for all those that will be watching this recording, then thank you and welcome. So what am I going to be doing today? Well, I'm going to be working with basic life problems that we have, and I'm going to offer you sacred wisdom and teachings on how to transform those kinds of blockages. There is teaching, there is wisdom, there is self-help and self-healing practices. I'm also going to incorporate some soul reading and offer guidance by connecting with your soul or your heavens team, guides, angels, and saints. And I'll be showing you how you can do these connections also on your own. Because one of the biggest mistakes, in my personal observation and opinion, that people make is they give away their power. They give away their power to people like myself who can do soul readings, who can receive guidance. And it's not that the guidance is not valuable or beneficial to your soul journey. It very often is. But if you're unable to receive that information on your own, or you're more willing to just go out and pay somebody else to give you information, then more often than not, that information might not be all that accurate because it really depends on the quality of the individual that's receiving the information. There are certainly very good quality people who receive accurate information, and there are probably people that are not so good at what they're doing. And this is what I mean. It's important to step into responsibility and, and not lean so much on the person that is giving you a reading of some kind. Curious side note story. I'm not a young boy anymore, but in my young years, at age 18, I started waking up to the spiritual journey. I started exploring all of the different avenues that are available. My first book was called The Treatise on White Magic by Alice Bailey. And a very unique book. It was written in an esoteric language, in a language that's like 60, 70, 80 years old. So it has a very old feel and language to it. But it carried the information in the light of higher level wisdom. And that what started to crack open my awakening process. And from then till today, much like those of you who are watching this video now, Welcome Divjot, welcome also Sanjay, welcome Sunlight. Thank you for sharing, everybody. So like those that are watching today, you probably have all been on a bit of a spiritual journey yourself. You may have already come across astrology, and you maybe watch that very closely. You may have come across zodiology, or tarot reading, or all forms of divination, of receiving information. You know, in the East cultures, there is the I Ching. So there's lots of different ways to get information. But one of the most powerful ways is receiving it directly from your own soul. And so, how do you receive information directly from your own soul? Well, basically, you learn to communicate with it, you learn to talk to it, and you learn to listen. Not only listen with your ear, but listen with your heart. And virtually all of us have blockages in our heart. How do you know? And I don't mean our physical heart, I mean our spiritual heart. How do you know if you have blockages in your heart? Are you emotionally in turmoil? Do you find yourself getting whipped around like a small ship on a big ocean? Are you able to hear clear messages from your soul when you have a dilemma, or you have a condition, or even something as simple as losing your car keys? Are you able to quiet your heart and receive, oh, they're here, or this is how you solve that dilemma? This is the natural side effect of being attuned to your soul. So there's so much wisdom that can be shared. My teacher, Dr. and Master Shah, is Dr. Master Jigang Shah, has trained with some of the most renowned healers on the planet, and most renowned masters as well, becoming a grand master in 5 different ancient modalities. And he is able to harness that wisdom, and he's put it out in many, many, many books. You can choose to get them or not, and I'm not trying to sell you any books. But that's how I ended up coming across this wisdom, is I had been on the journey for about 20 or so years. I tried everything you may already be trying right now. And although it led me to a certain point, it did not necessarily assist me to get to the next level. And when I picked up one of his books, I think it was called Power of Soul. He probably wrote it about 12 years ago. That really resonated with my heart. There was so much instant connectivity to the depth of the wisdom in there that I was truly moved. My heart was moved. My soul was moved. A part of me, my soul, understood the purity of the message, and the message within the message, which is not easy to transfer in a book. You want to be able to grasp what you're reading and be able to assimilate it and use it in an important manner. So connecting to the soul is one of the most important things we can do. Now, what does that mean, connecting to the soul? Soul is, in the way Master Shah says it, like if I lined up 100 of you and said, what do you think is the soul? You might all have a different explanation. And honestly, when I met my teacher, even after 20 plus years of diligent, hard searching, training with masters, I trained with some enlightened masters, I still had no clue what the soul was, nor did I have a clue how to connect to it. And that was after 20 years of hard service and hard work. And this teacher put it in one simple sentence. He said, the soul is the golden light being. And then, well, what is the purpose of the soul? The purpose of the soul is to serve. Well, if you've never heard that before, for me, the first time I heard that, it was just like earth shaking. What does that mean? The purpose of the soul is to serve. I don't want to serve. This life is already hard. I don't have time to serve anybody, right? Serve, serve, serve. I mean, granted, I'm a good person. I want to help, but I got to take care of me. I got to pay my bills. I got to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So we all get stuck in this me, me, me mode. But guess what the purpose of life is? Purpose of life is to serve. And so this was what opened my heart when I first picked up one of his books, because I had been searching for a long time. What is the surface? What is the purpose? Why am I here? And so I went out and did something that, it wasn't foolish, but it was hard. I really got the bug. I wanted to serve. I wanted to make a difference. So I became a legal guardian for a young man, a 13-year-old, who only about 3 or 4 months ago was able to locate me. I'd looked for him, he had looked for me, but only about 3 months ago we ran into each other again. And So this 13-year-old was a young man who had a lot of emotional problems because I won't go into the story. But basically, I was about 27, 28 years old trying to take care of a 13-year-old teenager that had lots of emotional issues. And that was my service. I just wanted to serve, wanted to help this young man. But and I did an okay job for a 27-year-old who had no clue how to parent. But the point being, most of us don't really comprehend what service is. We just don't have a clue. And it's only when I came across this teacher when he explained service is making others to be happier and healthier. It doesn't mean that you have to go out and adopt someone, become a legal guardian, which is a bit over the top what I did. It doesn't mean that you have to go down and feed the needy, which is a great thing to do. Service can be literally from the seat that you're sitting in, where you can just pause and put the world on hold and think of loving thoughts for people you care about or for the person across the street that's in a difficult condition and send them love. This kind of action, according to the wisdom that the great teachers share, that is recorded in heaven, no different than if you physically walked across the street and offered them food. Your great blessing for them with your thought carries the same value, the same, check, check, check on your record in heaven as if you gave them something physically to help them. Isn't that interesting? Master Shah shared a story about how there was a king, an emperor, and this emperor was to get married with the love of his life, his wife. And of course, emperors have tons of money, so he told his person in charge of the money, hey Johnny, hey Aaron, welcome, Livrendal Hayes, welcome everybody, thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing. So Master Shah explains the story how this emperor wanted to impress his new wife. So he told his financial advisor, I want you to build a huge temple for my wife to show my love for her, right? And it would have cost gobs and gobs and gobs of money. And the person in charge of the monies said yes, and he went back and he planned out how much it would cost, and he was, very dismayed that it would take a huge amount of money, and yet all of the people in the village are suffering. So he wrote to the emperor. He said, I deeply honor that you love your wife so much, that you want to make such a difference for her, but I encourage you to consider offering, maybe building something smaller or offering some of these monies back to the people. It will make them to love you more, and honestly, it's just a big waste of money, given that your wife's going to live with you and she'll never be there, and it's just throwing away your money. And the emperor said, I don't care, do it anyway. He didn't say off with your head, but he did say, I don't care, do it anyway. So anyway, Master Shah went on to share that as this emperor, this advisor, this financial advisor did pass away, and he went up to heaven, and they were going over his record of his life, and it was shared that they said, you had actually a very good life, and they showed him his scorecard, so to speak, right? And he was very, very surprised. And he said, how is this possible? I worked for this emperor. We did some very unpleasant things. I had to carry out a lot of his unpleasant orders. And they showed him, they said, yes, but one of the things you did was you wrote this report and you tried to help the hundreds of thousands of people under his authority. And you wanted to take this money and help those 100,000 people. And that shows up in your record as if it actually happened because you made that request. You took a chance with your life and made that request. And so it goes to show you a very important lesson when we understand the nature of the soul and we understand the nature of how our service is relative to aligning and connecting to our soul. He heard his soul saying this is the right thing to do. He took a risk with his life and said, Emperor, I think this is stupid and I think you should do this instead. And although he lived to see another day, heaven recorded that for him, and it helped him to have a much better next time around. So the message here is life is not about me, me, me. Life is about serving. Life is about opening up yourself to your soul and your soul journey to create the highest and best results for yourself. So today, I'm going to uh, offer some information and guidance. I'm going to go do a few soul readings for a few of you, and I'm going to offer some advice. Now, some of you, I see most of you know me, which means you also know a little bit of this wisdom. But I'm going to offer the advice that we're taught for self-healing purposes, because although as a miracle healer, as a master healer, I can offer blessings. I can do miracle healing. Can remove these kinds of blockages. You know, you could have significant results very quickly. Um, that's not really the purpose. Although these things are available, what is more important is that you learn how to fish. I can give you the fish, but if you learn how to fish, then you can feed yourself for life. If you learn how to self-heal, then you can transform your life forever. This is what we're trying to accomplish. Okay? So, today, what I'd like you to do is make a posting on something you'd like guidance on. Specifically, I'd like it to be a life problem, not a health problem, a life problem. Okay, something going on with your life. Could be relationship, could be how to deal with something that's been there long standing. You just don't know how to deal with it. And I'll do a flow. I'll check heavenly guidance, because you can go ahead and write, and I'll just keep filling in information. Um, the solutions are always available to us. Our soul knows very clearly how to move you from where you're at to where you need to be. You have a heavens team, guides, angels, and saints. They're always with you, and they're always going, move this way, go that way, don't do that, do this. And they're nudging you along and trying to keep you in the straight and narrow. But when we have a big, monkey mind, we can kind of go all over the place. And so our soul and our heavens teams, Sherfus, are always trying to serve us. And one of the most important things you can do is to open your spiritual channels to learn more about how to connect with them. Opening the spiritual channels is huge, huge, huge. So welcome, Laurie Geis. Welcome also to Ibrahim. Let's see. We'll start with Erin's question. She says, my son's father came out of the woodworks after another 6 years. I'd love any information on our soul information for growth. Okay. So how would you do this? If you were doing a soul reading, how would you do it? Part of the self-help, right? In Master Sha's wisdom, everything has a soul. So does her son have a soul? Yes. Does her son's father have a soul? Yes. Does the entire situation from 6 years ago to today, and even before that when they met and created their son, does that relationship and all of the conditions within have a soul? Yes. Everything has a soul. And does your soul, your personal soul, have answers? Yes. Does your heavens team have answers? Yes. So one way you can get some soul guidance is to ask these souls to come. And then you attune and you listen to who wants to speak up, who wants to give you that guidance. Okay? Well, this is how I do it. And this, you can do the same thing. So dear the soul of Aaron's son, please come. Dear the soul of Aaron and Aaron's son's father, please come. Dear the soul of their relationship, please come. Dear the soul of, this is key, this is one of my favorites, and it really works well. Dear the soul of the highest and best guidance, wisdom, or solutions that can be offered to Aaron at this time, please come. Okay. What about their heavens teams? Dear the heavens team for Aaron and Aaron's son and the father, please come. Could you please offer guidance at this time for what information for growth of this relationship would best serve Aaron's at this time? Thank you. Okay. So now I've asked all the souls to come. I've asked very clearly what I'm trying to accomplish. And where do I receive the message? I receive it in my heart. This is why you need to open your heart. This is why you need to do opening heart practices, because they help you relieve the wounds, release the wounds. They help you to receive messages more clearly. All of this is taught in my Open Spiritual Channels course. So I'll put the links up in a little while. But I'm going to now connect and I'm going to offer guidance. And when I speak, it's not Paul's mind making up the words. It's I'm getting my monkey mind out of the way, and I'm allowing words and information to come, and I speak those words with the energy and the intonation that I receive. How? This is Aaron's soul. My beloved Aaron, I love you deeply. You are such an important person. You and I have worked much better together for the last 5 or so years. You were kind of wobbly for a while there, and even in the last 5 years, it has been a difficult path to say the least. But you have been much more stable and much more respectful of you and your journey. You have been following my guidance, for the most part, very well. Now that your son's father has returned into the picture, part of your concern is he authentic? Can you depend on him? Will this hurt your son's body, his heart? Will it hurt his, will he become attached, and then might that attachment be harmed, is probably the better way to state this. And so these should probably be clearly voiced. The opportunities for your son to spend quality time with his father is of great importance, but it should be measured and it should be earned. It is not that his father may or may not be a good person. It is that he needs to understand the responsibilities that come with being the parent that you have been obligated to deal with on your own, so to speak. Because your son's father is relevant to his overall wellness and growth, it is important not to use your son as a pawn. It is important also not to manipulate the father. Both of them need each other. But what is equally important is the necessity to speak with purity and with valid concerns for your son's future. It is of the greatest importance that his father understands that trauma by showing up and then not being around for the long haul is not good. That he must also show up responsibly, and not only as a dad, but to assist as and when possible financially. That you do not want to use his son as the gate. You send me money or give me money and you see your son, and vice versa, as this is not healthy for your son's health and wellness. But at the same time, this form of responsibility will help him, as well as, of course, help you to provide those things that your son needs. Enter the relationship with caution. Enter it with your head on straight. It is of value to connect with other mothers and other group organizations that have advice for this kind of condition. There are reasonable guidances that can be offered you by these organizations that have dealt with these kinds of conditions. It would be wise to utilize their wisdom. How? Okay, so that's a soul guidance. This is what Aaron's soul is saying to her. What then would be the Tao wisdom that would be applied to this for self-healing? Okay, so what Master Sha based teaching is, everything has a soul. We just talked about that. So her son has a soul. The relationship between them have a soul. There's even a soul of the finances associated here, and of course the father of the son has the soul. And so there is what's called soul communication. Soul communication can solve a great deal of problems before they ever get started. Soul communication can heal relationships potentially 100 times faster than just words. And so soul communication is very important, because the foundation of every soul is that it wants to serve. Even if an individual is being very, very mean and nasty and unpleasant, which I'm not saying is the case here, but in general, even if somebody is being mean and nasty, At the soul level, the soul of that individual is not happy that the character, that the personality is being mean and nasty. At the soul level, the soul knows that they're creating negative blockages with these two people. So both souls want to serve, even though the personalities might be stuck. Okay, so soul communication bypasses the person-to-person potential blockages. Soul communication fixes things much, much faster. And so how do you do that? Example. This is just an example. This is a form of self-healing, self-application of these Tao wisdoms. You would say, "Dear the soul of my son's father," and you would call the soul to you. Now remember, the soul of your son's father is not the personality of your son's father. The soul of your son's father has the highest and best interest in mind. So does your soul. And you call their soul, and you have a conversation with their soul. This is called soul communication. Then you say, I really want the best for our child, and my concerns are A, B, C, D. And what I would like for you to be able to bring to this condition for the highest and best is A, B, C, D. Write it out. It's okay to read it off the paper, because you're talking to the air, but you're actually talking to their soul, because you asked their soul to come. Their soul instantly comes, because in the soul world, we're not limited by time or space. When their soul comes, you communicate in a win-win scenario. I would like this to happen so that your child wins, that you win, I win, everybody here wins. And this is what needs to occur for that to happen. When you do this, you are setting up the highest and best energetic environment. You are positioning yourself to have a better conversation when you actually have it in person. You are creating a condition in which that individual's soul goes back and whispers in the personality's ear, this is the right thing to do, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So when you actually have the conversation, the person would be like, I've heard this before. They kind of know it's coming, and it makes it that much easier for that conversation to occur. You can also and should also do forgiveness and forgiveness practice. This is another Tao wisdom, self-healing wisdom. You call their soul. You call the soul of your son, and you say, let's all do a forgiveness practice together. I deeply apologize if in this or any time, because you may or may not believe in more than one lifetime, if in this or any time I have created conditions in our relationship where we have been out of love and out of alignment, out of respect. If I have not offered you love and respect and honoring and appreciation, created conditions where I abandoned you, because that's what happened. If I've ever abandoned you before, if I've ever abandoned you, my son, if any of that's ever happened in this triangle relationship, I deeply, deeply apologize. I also wish to offer you my unconditional forgiveness. Even though the last 6 years have been hell, not the easiest thing to handle on my own, or maybe you have somebody else in your life, it's still been difficult. I still wish to forgive so that we can all move forward in harmony. And you have that kind of a communication as well. Not once, but many times. And what does this do? This cleans the field. It cleans the debris in the energetic field. It provides the highest and the best potential outcome so that you and the people that are going to be impacted, if you're remarried or whatever, then that's going to impact your current spouse in a positive manner, because you're doing this. It's going to impact your son and the son's father. So this is called soul communication, and it's a form of application of forgiveness. That is Tao healing. That is soul healing. That is Master Sha wisdom. So step into that power and do it. You can book a private consultation with me if you want to. And, just tell me in the chat, I want to book a private consultation with you. I'll contact you. I'll give you the information. And in those consultations, although there has a little bit of money involved, you get very high level wisdom. You also get a healing and help transform those blockages faster. Maybe I don't have time to give you this information and you just need that private consult. Maybe you don't want to air your stuff in public. That's okay. Contact me privately. All right. Hopefully that helps, Aaron. Let's move on to the next person. Let's see. Dejat said relationship. Everyone says mother's wounds. Someone says flourishing. Laurie Guy says relationship. Guys, I got to tell you, relationship it's like saying, can I please have the lottery number that's going to win next week? It's a little way too vague. Okay. I need specifics. Okay? Please give me specifics. I can't just give you an relationships. What kind? Son, father, mother, best friend? Am I going to find love? What about my coworker relationship? I mean, there's 10,000 kinds of relationships. Be more specific, please. All right, Janet says, relationship with mother, please. Thank you. Your advice for my daughter was right on. Okay. Yeah, I think Janice Chan was talking about it 2 years ago. But, okay, so the soul of Janet, soul of Janet's mother, please come. Again, you can do what I'm doing. You just have to be able to hear the message with clarity. Open your heart. To the soul of Janet, Janet's mother, please come. To the soul of the relationship between them, including the blockages between them, the communication difficulties between them, please come. To the soul of the highest and best guidance, information that can assist Janet with her mother, please come. Please offer this guidance at this time. Thank you. How? This is the soul of Janet's mother. My beloved Janet, I love you more than you can possibly know. Your mother loves you more than you can possibly know. She is in a bit of what we might call loop. She just complains and loops and complains, and it seems that nothing you do will ever be good enough. This is a maddening bit, if you will, and certainly I understand why it is difficult for you, because you have such great love for her as she does for you. This is partially because she does not know how to communicate the love for you that she has. She has great blockages in her heart center. It would be ideal for you to honor blessings for her heart chakra. This might not necessarily reverse the negative loop that she is in, but it could cause her to start speaking with more love and more gratitude. Your mother has and is feeling more disempowered with her age. You know her to be a strong woman, a outspoken woman, a woman that does not hold her tongue necessarily, and this has gone by the wayside along with her age. This creates difficulty for her as she has lost her strength. She has lost her self-respect for herself, as she has difficulties with mobility, difficulties with all aspects. This has created for her low self-esteem. Her well-being, her sense of ego, so to speak, was built on her wellness. And since her wellness has been diminished, therefore the pillars of her ego have been diminished. So then she tries to find her power by putting down others. And those that she loves will never not love her, so it's the safest thing. So this is the crux of it. For you, the lesson is unconditional love. Teach her what unconditional love looks like. Remind her that you love her regardless, and you love her even more now than before. Teach her what she needs to learn, for these final years of her life are of the greatest importance. And when it is time for her to cross over, she needs to not have this kind of negative information in her field, as it would hurt you, and you do not need it in your field, because you need to have this unconditional love for her. I understand it is difficult. There is no question about that, but it is a great lesson for you to accomplish this as well. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to share this information with you for your mother. This is your mother's soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So hopefully, Janet, that helps to have a better understanding of how to work with your mother. Okay, Jean says, Master Paul, is it possible to have soul reading on why my soul language did not come out yet? Sure, let's find out. How? This is your soul. The main reason is a negative memory. There was a lifetime in which you were a communicator, a healer. You spoke in tongues, and you would receive information in tongues. You would then translate that information, and you would offer people guidance. In this lifetime, you were truly unfamiliar with how it worked. You simply worked with it, and the information would come to you, and you would then hear the guidance, which was often short guidance. Do this, do this, do that. Sometimes it was guidance that seemed very strange, like go over to this field, find the flour that looks like this, boil 12 pieces for 2 hours, and then drink the solution, and this will, cure da 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 da. And this is how the guidance came. You were in this life killed because you were considered not necessarily a witch, but in essence the same thing at that time. And even though you were a male in this lifetime, your accuracy and the way you received information scared people, and what they do not know, they judged. Because of this negative experience, you have at the level of soul the fear of releasing your soul language. It is important to do forgiveness practice with all of the souls in that lifetime that judged you, took your life, and fully and completely forgive them and forgive yourself for holding on to the negative memory. With this and a little bit of usage of healing hands, you should be able to open your soul language. This is your soul. Ha ha ha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Interesting, huh? Sometimes it's deep roots. Sometimes it's some strange roots that can be the origination of these things. Okay. Lori says, is there a relationship in my future? I'm assuming she means romantic. So dear the soul of Lori Geis, the soul of the possibility of romantic relationships in her life, please come, please offer this guidance. How? This is Yen Wan Ye, the leader of the Akashic Records. My beloved Lori, there is love waiting for you, but at the current energetics, it is a bit too far. It is a bit much farther away than you would like it to be. This is because the frequency and vibration of what you are putting out is not attractive. And I do not mean physically. It is because of the multiple things in your field, including worthiness, including past relationship and the things that occurred there, including concern or self-judgment of your own physicalness, physical desirability, etc., etc. Also worries about age and ability to find the right person with your age and your conditions, blah, blah, blah. Basically, there is so much of your own self-made stuff that it is like, metaphorically, it is like spraying a bug spray and wondering why the fly doesn't come. and so find a perfume, find a much better, metaphorically speaking, spray. Find ways to honor and respect yourself. Find ways to be clear that if you're not good enough for them, then too bad for them. They can go find somebody else. Find ways to step into your wellness, your highest and best self. that is always important to keep things in perspective. There are 8 billion people on the planet. Half of them are of the gender you prefer. And of those, it's highly likely there will be 100 out of that 4 billion that will fall in love with you. So kind of keep it in perspective and allow this truth to resonate in your heart. This will dramatically shorten the possibility of the ideal mate from too long to possibly 6 months. This is my guidance. This is Yen Wan Ye, leader of the Akashic Records. Ha ha ha. Thank you, thank you. Kind of funny, huh? He showed me in my third eye, he showed me like this spray. It's like it wasn't like you open your mouth and fumes come out, but it was like your field, was putting out this energy. So I was saying, be conscientious of that. You're not going to attract the right things with that. So hopefully that serves you, Lori. So let's talk about how can Lori, how can you, if you're looking for a relationship, how can you use Tao wisdom, soul wisdom, to transform this kind of a blockage? Well, the first thing is forgiveness. You can ask forgiveness for having these kinds of negative messages, closing your heart to love, holding on to I'm not good enough, if that's the message that's going on, right? Maybe I did something wrong in the other relationship. Maybe I'm not fat enough, tall enough, skinny enough, blonde enough, redhead enough. Maybe I'm not enough of whatever, right? So throw that one right out the door, transform that, and forgive yourself for holding on to those false beliefs. It was a good example of what Yin Wanye just said. There's literally 4 billion people of the right gender for you. Isn't it realistic that only 100 of them might be perfect for you? Just 100? Okay, you don't need all 4 billion. Even 4 or 5 could be enough, right? Do you think out of the 4 billion, 5 are there? It's a million times likely. So change your perspective, change the energies, forgive yourself, forgive those that might have brought harm to you in a relationship. Very, very key. Some people could have been exceedingly unpleasant in relationship to you. Why do we forgive them? Because it doesn't matter what they did to us. Guess what? You may have done to others or them at a time you don't remember, right? You don't know. This is the simple wisdom, Tao wisdom. Whatever you've done for others, they have probably done to you. And whatever they have done to you, you have probably done to others. So why do you forgive when they're such a SOB? Why do you forgive when they're the worst person on the planet? Because if you don't, it's going to stay right here. It's going to block your heart. It's going to act like a repellent. And you might have been that unpleasant person first. You always forgive, and you completely forgive, and you ask forgiveness completely, because you may have been the very unpleasant person first. And if you were, guess what? You deserved it. So always do both things. And what does this do? This opens your heart. It allows you to not vibrate and emanate something that people don't want. It allows you to be open to receive love and healthy relationship. Very simple steps and processes that you can do. Okay. Let me do something here. Give me a second. So what am I doing? I am using examples of open spiritual channels. I am using examples of connecting to the soul world and offering guidance, asking for guidance. In the chat, I just put in a link. This is to my next Open Spiritual Channels class, which is coming up December 1st. It's a Tuesday. It's 4 Tuesdays in a row. And it's the beginning of a series of classes where you can learn soul communication. You can learn how to open your heart, your message center. You can learn how to open your third eye. You can learn how to boost your foundation, reveal and release your kundalini. There are very specific ancient sacred practices for these that I did them, and I did all the practices in their intermediate and advanced courses. And this is what gives me this ability. Prior to doing all those, no abilities whatsoever. Now, they were dormant. I had these abilities before, just as all of you have had your third eye open before. You've all had the ability to communicate with souls before and do the exact same things I do. I'm not special by any stretch of the imagination. But what did I do? I attended courses like what I now offer. And I'm very good at what I teach. I can teach you how to open your spiritual channels. You just got to get yourself there. So make sure you follow those links, and it will help you tremendously. Let's go back to the next question. This will be the last one, I believe, for the night, unless it's a quick answer. Make sure I get these in order. Okay. So I don't want to go past people that they've asked, and they've asked a reasonable question. Jen asked blessings and love. It's just, I'm sorry, Jen, it's just too vague. They're almost like two separate things, blessings and love. But I'm going to offer blessings at the end, so you can certainly ask for that. Blessings for love. Sanjay, too vague. Reading for me, please. I've already stated I need something specific. A reading, if drawn, would be amazing. Jen, I still need specifics. Sam, insecurity in relationships. Okay, now I can work with that one. So, sorry guys, I don't want to pass you up, but you got to give me something to work with, okay? It's like I said earlier. You can't say what lottery number is going to win. I'm just not that talented. I can't say, these 6 numbers are going to win. You have to give me some specifics. Then I can check in with your soul, give you some very specific guidance. So, Sam. Dear Sam's soul, to the soul of the concern about insecurity in relationships, please come. To the soul of the highest and best guidance for Sam to enhance his security in relationships and release the highest and best guidance for Sam to release any insecurities in relationships. Please come. Please offer this guidance at this time. Thank you. How this is Sam's soul. For you, the root cause is abandonment. There is a history of abandonment, possibly parental abandonment, definitely relationship abandonment, and definitely negative memories in other lifetimes of being abandoned. This root has some aspects related to, about 30% related to you abandoning others, about another 45% of your ancestors causing this kind of suffering for people, and the balance is actually caused by your own negative memories, creating more of the same of what you don't want. Abandonment creates, for you, Sam, a sense of non-deserving, a sense of depression, a sense of insufficiency. Because when an abandonment occurs, somebody leaves you for reasons that you are unable to understand, or reasons that are kind of shocking. Sometimes abandonment can occur when somebody dies and you feel abandoned. Sometimes it can occur when somebody leaves and you're a child and the parent leaves and you take it personally and wonder what you did wrong. Sometimes abandonment can occur in a relationship where you think everything is hunky-dory and perfect, and the person you find out has been doing something unpleasant on the side for years, and then you wonder what is wrong with me, and so forth. There are many different ways in which abandonment can occur, but the results tend to be the same. There is a belief that you did something wrong. And this is the root and the core of your low self-esteem or your insecurity in relationships. A belief that you have or will or could do something wrong in the relationship. This leaves you weak in your tone, in your steadfastness. It leaves you weak in your manifestation of a healthy future, one in which you either maintain or attract a secure, powerful relationship. So, what is the solution? Since this is a combination of negative memories, it is a combination of your own spiritual in-debt imbalance, and it is partially ancestral, it is important to offer forgiveness to all those in all time that have abandoned you by multiple ways, including death or relationship, or by departure as a parent might depart when they are children, or by any other potential ways in which people can be abandoned. Uh, Even in one lifetime, you were abandoned as an infant on the doorstep. Your soul remembers this. It is important, dear one, to offer forgiveness for all lifetimes. Secondly, offer forgiveness to yourself for allowing these energetics to be so predominant in your world. Forgive yourself for giving them empowerment. Thirdly, ask forgiveness to all souls that you and your ancestors have abandoned, because you have done this in relationship. By death, others were hurt because by death you abandoned them, and so forth. Ask forgiveness on behalf of yourself and your ancestors. Do this every day, dear Sam, for at least 30 days. Do not skip a beat. And then pay attention to how much better you are feeling, how much more confident you have. You could benefit from a confidence light ball. You could benefit from a crown chakra blessing as well. You can get those from any of the certified master teachers. This will help you to release these root blockages. I love you. I'm very grateful to give you this message directly. This is your soul. Ha ha ha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you're enjoying these soul-guided answers, book a private session with me. You know, I'm very good at what I do. I can help you to transform a lot of long-standing blockages. This is, a lot of these things people just suffer with for a long, 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 long time. They just go on and on and on. And they just don't know how to get to the root. Getting to the root, there's multiple solutions. I just put the link in the chat. So if you want to book a private session with me, click on that appointment calendar. And when we can hear the root, just that alone, we can, that feels so good, right? Just that alone starts to clear stuff from your field. You have to recognize that whatever your problem is, and I mean whatever it is, it originated right there, right here in your field. I'm not pointing to Paul, I'm pointing to you, right here in your field. It's sitting in your personal field, and it's creating unpleasantries in your life. It ain't going to go away by itself. You need to find the root, and you need to uproot that root. And you can do that on your own. You can do that by coming to the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field. For those of you that have long-standing issues, check out the post when I started this live stream. It's the intro to the Tao Healing Intensive. It's this weekend. Make plans. Make plans for this weekend. It's only like $135 to join for the whole 2 days. But it's an free intro evening. So Friday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. The link again is right where I posted this live stream. It's at the top. And just book. It's free. And learn the 5 steps to reverse deep stuff. There is root ways to uproot those deep roots. It's taught over this 2-day healing intensive, Tao Science Healing Intensive. Very powerful. And we the recordings will be available for 2 weeks after the people, they sometimes, it's such short notice, maybe you have to work Saturday for 8 hours. That's okay. You can catch up. But that, I tell you, that will help you a lot. Get a private session with me. That will help you a lot. Okay? I will continue to come back here every Tuesday, every Thursday. I will continue to do exactly what I'm doing now. Offer sage wisdom, offer sage guidance. I know that, I wasn't able to get to all of you, but every time I give an answer to people, you're getting value, and it will help you with your answer. Don't be one of those people that go, oh, he missed me, he didn't have any time for me, or he passed me up. Remember, I'm following guidance also. And very often, when I answer a question, you will get a value out of it. It could literally be directly help you as well, especially when I offer you how to transform it with self-healing techniques. Okay? So make sure you check out the links that I put in the chats. I do offer the Open Spiritual Channels program, Lowered on Tien, open your heart center, open your third eye, open your Kundalini. Powerful program. That's just the beginning level. Then there's an intermediate level and so forth. That link's in there. It starts December 1 on a Tuesday. Register for that. It's very affordable. And you can start your journey, start clearing the blockages, because a lot of the health issues, a lot of the relationship issues, almost all of our blockages are in our space. So when you start clearing these energy centers, not only do you open your spiritual channels, you start getting a happier, healthier life. Pretty simple. Okay? So I want to say thank you to all of you. And I want to say deeply grateful to my teacher, Dr. Master Jigang Shah. Thank you for all for clicking that share button, letting your family and friends know. Just click share. You never know who that you know will run across this video and it could change their life. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.